Hello, this is Just One Life, and this is Mid-Range Humans. This is an extremely resilient version of the Humans deck. We've got, in our 1-drop slot, new Allenbach Escort. This plays a huge role in this deck because a lot of our creatures get +1/+1 counters. People are always surprised by this card. They might learn how to play around it, but for now, everybody misplays around it. We can surprise save a Sigarda, an Adeline, a huge Hamlet Vanguard, and give it lifelink. So if we're close to dying, we can jump back up to a high life total and take control of the game again. We have a bunch of value creatures, including 3 copies of Intrepid Adversary. Late game, this can be a great mana sink, but Catilda also is an excellent mana sink. We've got 4 Luminarchs, of course, 3 Thalias, and then we're playing the new Savior of Allenbach. I've found this to be an okay card in this deck. Exiling something from our graveyard is really good. Exiling a token they control is really good, and our Allenbach Escort can keep it alive. We have 3 copies of Laid to Rest. This card is super good in our deck. This is what keeps us alive against control. Whenever they sweep the board, we draw a bunch of cards, especially because we're creating human tokens with Taurens. Whenever we cast a creature spell, including Sigarda because it doesn't say human, we get a human. Laid to Rest ends up drawing us a bunch of cards. Also, Adeline provides us extra humans to die and draw cards. This deck is extremely resilient, and I'm going to take it through some Diamond Ranked on the first day of Crimson Vow. Right away, we get an excellent hand. Most hands are Snap Keepers, because our mana curve is so low, so if we just have a few lands in our opener, we're good to go. Start with a Plains and a Chaplain. This creature's first strike ends up being really important in the early game, and being able to disturb it as a flyer can keep us alive against some opponents. So I could Luminarch here, but if I Catilda, and they don't kill Catilda, then I can Laid to Rest next turn. Also, if they have a kill spell, I think I would rather it hit this Catilda than our Luminarch. And we can actually cast this Chaplain because of our Catilda. I feel pretty confident that we're going to outvalue them this game, even though they are clearly a value deck. I kind of want to put the Thalia into play to get their non-creature spells more expensive, and we have a bunch more mana than them, so we're just going to try and postpone their game plan. They've got a Briar Bridge, but with a +1/+1 counter, Thalia can attack through it. So we'll grow our Thalia and come on in. Next turn, if we don't draw something really good to play, we can start growing our entire team with Catilda. It's only turn 4, and we're considering sinking 6 mana into this creature. They look like they want to burn something. A 3 mana Dragon's Fire. So we gain 2 life and draw a card. Another Laid to Rest. This means every human that dies, we draw 2 cards for. Oh yeah. This is great. Opponent wants to Dragon's Fire our Luminarch before we can get a second card from it. Fine. Another land. Unfortunate, but we are sitting pretty at this point. If opponent attacks with Briar Bridge, I'll throw a champion in front just to draw 2 cards. Moonveil Regent. So they want to draw some cards too. Wow, drawing all those cards feels really nice. We have 6 lands. We can play this Allenbach. I would like to get this Hamlet Vanguard into play. We could cast Hamlet Vanguard and Chaplain of Alms. Let's get the cards in play. So this Allenbach Escort can keep this from dying, and it can give it lifelink. With the highest mana value. We paid Disturb 4, but this is still a 1 CMC card. So it's gonna hit our Hamlet Vanguard, which is too bad. It doesn't get, or it gets around indestructible. But we will draw 2 cards and gain 4 life. There's another Hamlet Vanguard to replace it. So we can take 8 here. We fall to 18. So can we get this in and buff our team? We pay 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a tap. So we can play Hamlet Vanguard and pump our team with Catilda. These Laid to Rests are MVP of this deck, drawing us so many cards. I mean, there's no way they can outvalue us when every creature we lose, we just draw 2. We haven't even started token production. And this deck has something like 6 token producers. Yeah, this Moonveil region's drawing them a lot of cards, but it's not more than we're gonna get. Actually, next turn it'll have a first strike 4 damage. It'll just block Moonveil. A Luminarch. Perfect. We could start getting in with Hamlet, make them block something. We have Allenbach to protect one thing. Let's start growing our Champion of Alms, since it's a first striker. And we will hold back, since we have enough to buff our entire team again. Opponent's Moonveil region is drawing them tons of cards. They've gone through 19, we've gone through 20. Ooh, a Lolth. First strike is really great against the Lolth tokens.
You reek with terror. Exquisite. We will slay our enemies.
Opponent has decided not to attack, which is the correct move. Alright, it's time for us to start getting in with this Champion of Alms. We're going to attack with Champion and Vanguard. So they chump both of them. That's totally fine.
My power is for annihilation. Aren't I the generous one?
Tybalt. Exile target artifact or creature. That's pretty bad for us.
So you've seen through my
Coming after the Hamlet Vanguard. Opponent doesn't have the 2 mana to pay for ward. Oh no, opponent. Oh, they have a Jasper Sentinel? Well, this gives it another ward 1. Nice.
My words are for ambitious.
So it ends up having ward 2 and ward 1. Opponent's ability doesn't resolve unless they pay all 3. They only had 2. And we grow the team. Tybalt's plus abilities exile the top card of each player's library. We got a Savior of Allenbach. Sure would like to be able to attack with it this turn, but unfortunately we can't. We'll put a +1/+1 counter on it in case we want to sacrifice this Allenbach escort to keep it alive in some circumstance. Do we just kill them, or do we try and kill some of their planeswalkers? Let's attempt to kill Lolth. So we're coming just like this. I know it's the same attack as last turn, but with our team continuing to grow, we'll soon be able to come in with more. We could just gain 10 life here, but I don't think that that's important enough to throw away our 4/4 and protection indestructible on anybody we choose.
I will get what I want. A gift in exchange for
We need to start drawing some more of our token producers and value cards. That was one of them. And that's really unfortunate because that's any creature spell. That was the card we really wanted to draw. We still have a lot of really good draws in our deck. We draw Sigarda, Adeline. We could still draw Taurens. We have 4 of them. Opponent wants to Dragon's Fire. They chose a dragon, so it will deal 4 damage. In order to keep Chapel Shieldgeist, we have to throw away Allenbach. I think that's worth it. There we go. There's some of our good creatures. Amazing. So we'll start with a Spellbinder to try and get whatever's in their hand. It's just a land. Excellent. And we'll play our last Laid to Rest. We'll grow this to 4 power so it can also block. We can start attacking with more creatures. We can declare an all attack at, I suppose, Lolth, and then hold back Catilda, Luminarch, and Savior. Unless we want to give back one of our creatures. We could give back a Hamlet Vanguard. Let's attack with Savior. Yeah, I like this. So we're going to look in our graveyard here. We're going to take this Hamlet Vanguard. And yes, we want to target this with the ability. So they have plenty of stuff to block with. If they don't want to kill our Savior, that would be amazing for us. Because we can grow it again next turn, and then block the Moonveil. Opponent can -3 to just exile it, but it's when it leaves the battlefield, not dies.
I will cull the weak.
This token is a human. We will draw 3 cards off of it.
Do what I demand.
Our token producers are finally in the game. I wonder if our opponent has just given up. That's all your timeouts used. It's possible that they just disconnected. So we'll just sit here and win the game. Good game, opponent. Humans takes their first victory. Beautiful hand. Absolutely wonderful. Play this on white for an Allenbach Escort. We get Catilda in their turn 2, which plays the other Allenbach Escort. Amazing. This is humans going off right here. And I would love to play a Laid to Rest next turn. But a Hamlet Vanguard wouldn't be bad. Let's get in Laid to Rest. Do we play the Intrepid Adversary right now? I say no. They're going to want to keep this around because this is a value card for them. And we're okay trading off our creatures because now they draw us cards. And they have Vigilance. Awesome. Thalia is an excellent card for us here. So let's move to combat and attack with our Allenbach Escorts. Now they may consider trading. No. So now we can tap them for mana. Let's get Hamlet Vanguard in play. It's huge. And these Allenbach Escorts protect it from any kind of destroy effect. The opponent's in trouble now. Howlpack Piper, they can put a creature from their hand into play next turn. Cool. Another Thalia. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Or we could play an Intrepid Adversary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that. Let's play Intrepid Adversary and pay twice. Whoa, not tap Thalia. We'll tap this and this. And then we'll tap this and this. I don't want to tap Thalia, I want to attack with Thalia. Always watch out, the auto tapper will get you. Alright, opponent, what incredible creature are you putting into play? It's a front side, right? Yeah. Untap. Okay, it is a wolf, so they untap, but they don't have enough mana to activate it again. It's a hexproof 4/4. At the beginning of combat, put 2+1/+1 counters on another creature you control. And then they put in this just 4/4. Great. This is only +1/+1 counters, and these are Valor counters. I'm not sure why it turned to night. They cast... Oh, they didn't actually cast spells. They just put them into play. Right. That's pretty cool. They revealed another one of those. So, how do we deal with it? We can go combat, attack with Hamlet Vanguard and Intrepid Adversary, which seems scary, I know. We'll attack with both of these. Let them block. So they're double blocking. Now we Catilda. Grow our team. And then Allenbach will sacrifice itself. Save Intrepid Adversary. And we can have the other Allenbach they have Hamlet Vanguard. And we gain so much life. And kill their entire board. Now they have to play this the old-fashioned way, with land. They're just gonna play this. So they get to put a creature into their hand from the top 6. It's like the worst version of Collected Company. I'm not sure. They picked a 1-mana 2/1. Probably because they're trying really hard to stay alive. Yep. That's it. Humans overwhelmed. I mean, they're just so powerful right now. Another excellent hand. So, this hand makes me want to play the farmland on turn 1 and knock it in the champion, just so we can get Catilda in on turn 2. It also means if we draw any land in the top 2 cards, we can get Torrens in on turn 3. Actually, we don't even need to count on land. Ooh, we got one anyway. So we'll put this in on white. Actually, we'll just play this Plains first. And it's Torrens right away. Plus a Chaplain. Now would be a good time to draw that enchantment. Alright, so we have like all the mana we could ever want. We could just grow our team, but I'm going to Spellbinder first, plus a Hamlet Vanguard. Our Hamlet Vanguard will be massive. We can start attacking with it next turn. And they won't want to attack their Werewolf Pack Leader into the Hamlet Vanguard. Ooh, that was a great card from them. Let's see. Now this is a new card. Pretty cool. Toski. We'll make Toski cost 6. Do we attack? We suddenly don't have a bunch of mana. I actually should have responded to that by tapping all my creatures. You know what? I am fine trading this off. They don't want to trade. We take 6. Bring this in on a white. We have 5 mana available. We could champion, which would ward all of our creatures. They don't have enough mana to pay through ward for a Rending Flame. Let's ward plus Allenbach. It rebuilds our board. And makes Hamlet Vanguard better next turn. It only will see this Allenbach and this Torrens, because it only counts non-token humans. This is no longer a human. Let's see if opponent forgets about ward, even though it's obvious on each creature, and just casts their Rending Flame. Ooh, transform. Okay, they left enough mana open for ward. X plus 1. That's pretty neat. Alright, so they're coming in again just to draw a card. I really don't want to block, because our Vanguard will shrink. So if we don't block, we can play a pretty large Vanguard. That makes it even larger. Excellent. Let's train up those human tokens. Now if we want to, we can block with the Vanguard and the Escort, and then sacrifice the Escort to keep the Vanguard alive if they play some kind of burn spell, in addition to creature damage. I'm not sure if I like this Rending Flame or not. I kind of figured it would be pretty good in the format, but Dragon's Fire might just be better. 5 is marginally better than 3. Opponent's also figuring out how they want to make this attack. So they can't pay the ward cost on this, but I still think I'm going to sacrifice the Allenbach Escort, because not only does it make sure our Vanguard lives, but it also gives us lifelink. And going up from this 8 seems pretty important. Oh yeah, now it's even more important. So we gain our life and kill their wolf even though they powered it up. I kind of want to hold this card in hand. Oh, wow. There we go. Humans pulls it out again. This is another one of those hands. It's got 2 Adelines, and we don't have a turn 1 play. This is probably the sketchiest kind of opener for us. Our curve is almost all 2 and 3 mana spells. Let's keep it. I'll start with the farmland since this forest wouldn't let us cast anything anyway. Yeah. Looks like we're going against the older build of mono white. Wonder if they have any includes from the new set. Ooh, Thalia kind of just hoses their attacks. Well, Monk can still get in, but we're going to start growing our Thalia with Luminarch. Wow. The opponent has the new tech. I really like that card. It's just so powerful. Now, our hand might be too slow for this. We didn't draw any land. So we can Luminarch, grow Thalia. That still lets them attack for 8. We could play Intrepid Adversary and block one of their creatures. It's only really those 2 options. If we let them get in for 8, then we can play Intrepid Adversary the next turn and lifelink our way back up, and have Thalia as a 4 power blocker, which might matter. So let's try that. They may just have removal, though. They could have a Brutal Cathar or a Skyclave Apparition. Yep. I think that does it. I don't really see a way that we come back from this position, so opponent, great job. We're done. Double white, no green. I'm still keeping it. It's a little bit of a risky keep. I'd like to see some green availability. We'll get a chaplain in. Then we can at least go Intrepid Adversary turn 2. Ooh, perfect. So this lets us do Laid to Rest, or we can Sigarda. Against this, they could just have Negate. But it could just be Jawari Disruption. Let's see what they've got. There aren't a lot of 2-mana spells that counter this. There are some. Cinderclasm. What, I didn't get to respond to that? Couldn't tap Catilda for mana? Suppose it didn't matter, but... We drew another land. That's pretty excellent for us. Because now we can get in Sigarda. We're on the non-human plan this game. We're going to go Angel into Spirit. There's the Allenbach again. Okay. We're still going on our plan. Opponent, you have a counterspell? Got 2 mana open. It's a Jawari. Well, I did call the Jawari earlier. Okay, they've got their shields down. We can resolve spells. If we draw a land... Ooh, so they get to take whichever one they want. Oh. What? Oh, Duress is non-creature, non-land. Oh, opponent, we don't have any of those. So we'll go white again, because we only need 1 green mana. And we're going to go Allenbach. Plus Adversary. And the next turn we can Hamlet Vanguard. And if they divide by 0 our adversary, we're happy with that. If they divide by 0 our Savior of Allenbach, we get in for 3. To draw 2 cards. Thalia's great against them. Another Laid to Rest. So this is interesting. The options here are Thalia plus Luminarch, Thalia plus Hamlet Vanguard, or just Laid to Rest. Thalia makes all their spells cost more, and it's super, super good. It's going to make their turns much more awkward. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 1 more land. I think I'm getting Thalia into play. And then the question is, do I play Vanguard or Luminarch? Let's go Luminarch. Let me try and grow the Thalia. Do you have more sweepers? They're also playing black. They could have something like... I would not expect Blood in the Snow, but they could have Meat Hook Massacre. Infernal Grasp. Fine. We draw more and gain life. We get a land which lets us Laid to Rest, or we can Intrepid Adversary paying extra. Let's get the Adversary into play. Pay, pay. Boom, boom. Grow yourself. Now we have 2 big threats on the field. Even if they kill Intrepid Adversary, we'll be coming in for 3 damage next turn. Oh, they kill both, so we draw 2 cards. Man, we just get to draw so many cards with this deck. So it's Laid to Rest time. That's kind of a tough... We got only one of these we can play. Let's play the Chaplain because it comes back if they kill it as a spirit. Alrund's Epiphany. So we're going to get to Memory Deluge, at least. Well, I guess maybe they won't. If they get a land with this Expressive Iteration, they can oh no, they have the Celestus. This taps for 1. So they've got Memory Deluge. A second Expressive Iteration. I wonder why they're choosing not to Deluge. That seems just better than another iteration. I see. A front side of Deluge. Well, I guess first cast. They can't play this island, they've already played a land. This is another Alrund's Epiphany Foretold. So we have 6 mana available to us. We could just Savior plus Vanguard, but doesn't seem good enough. So let's Escort, Chaplain, Vanguard, and attack for 1. Now if they sweep our board, we get to draw 2 cards per creature, and I don't think they can do 7. Oh, they can't do 7, but they can make a sack it. We'll draw 2 from that, and gain some life. They have an Alrund's Epiphany to cast, so they'll come in for 2, and then for 4. We drew our 3rd and final copy of Laid to Rest. They're gonna double cast it. Ugh. Man, Alrund's Epiphany is just so ridiculous. So they've got a Memory Deluge to find another Alrund's Epiphany, and then they've got another turn to Galvanic their Alrunds. If they take one more extra turn, we die. If they don't, we still probably die. Alright, we go to 4. A Cinderplasm. That was a really terrible move by our opponent. We couldn't have killed them, and we couldn't have killed any of their flyers. Wow. Okay, so we get to cast all kinds of stuff here. So we've got 7 mana. Everything's so expensive. I wonder what they could have. They clearly have a plan. Let's just Laid to Rest plus Adeline. This attack will at least make a token. Mm-hmm. They're gonna Galvanic maybe a Memory Deluge flashback. X is the amount of mana you spent to cast this spell. Oh, they're killing us with Prismari Command. I should have known. Well, good job, opponent. You barely got there, but you got there. Awesome, this is an amazing opener. And we're against mono white. This Champion of Alms is super good against Usher. Except if they get a Luminarch. No blocks. So we're gonna Catilda. Now, the real question is, next turn, should we play the Taurens, or should we get an Adeline? Adeline's pretty beefy, but Taurens sets us up much better for future turns. Savior has also got a good argument for it, because attacking the Savior and exiling the Usher is also really great. Opponent's got quite a board going though. 4 toughness blocker matters a lot, and since we have a second copy of Adeline, we're kind of okay with losing it. It's a little awkward that we drew all 3 CMC spells. We have lots of 2s in our deck. I wonder if opponent has a 3rd land. They could be stuck off of their Brutal Cathar Skyclave Sentinel. Seems like they are. This attack says I have a combat trick. But I can't think of one that would really be against us blocking. I think blocking is just better. So let's do it. Excellent. And they've got another set Sun Gold. Thalia. Thalia does nothing against them. So we could play an Adeline and a Thalia. How's that? Yeah, that seems great. Let's do that. Because 2 mana, first strike, it's a big deal. They can only bump one of their creatures up. And I just showed them that I'm willing to trade my Adeline away. Now we get to Torrens. Plus... Ooh. Do we Savior or do we Hamlet? This is a tough one. Because Savior means we get to exile on attack next turn. It's gotta be Hamlet, right? Because it comes in just so large. If we attack with Adeline, they have to sacrifice only Intrepid Adversary to kill it. So it's not a very good attack for us. The Hamlet Vanguard can be our attacker next turn. And it's just a huge blocker. Now, we've set up defenses super well. And our mid-range deck will outgrind this mono-white deck. We've got a Luminarch of our own. Let's get it into play. So what do we want to grow? We could grow our Adeline. That seems pretty good. And then on attack, it's just Hamlet Vanguard. Which makes another human. Now we want to draw that enchantment. Because these human tokens dying would be really great to get a card from each one of them. So they chump, and I'm sure they block with Intrepid Adversary here. They don't even block, they take 11. Okay. Brutal Cathar probably on Hamlet Vanguard. Although honestly, Catilda is probably the correct choice. Huh. Interesting choice. Are they looking at a big attack this turn? No. So, Ollenbach. Let's go to combat and grow our savior. We will attack with Savior, Vanguard, and these human tokens. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I actually want these humans to use with Catilda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. This attack will exile... I actually don't really want to exile anything they have too badly. Now let's exile their Intrepid Adversary. Then if they choose to block, we can keep our Savior of Allenbach alive with the Escort. We will escort the Savior. I didn't see any escorts in their deck, so they might just not know how to play around escort. Seems like that's the case. They don't know that we're going to kill their creature and survive. Okay, so check this out. We're going to sacrifice this escort, and then we're going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and grow everybody. This is going to kill both of their creatures, and we're going to gain 4. And we still have a blocker to keep back the Brutal Cathar. Because even if it grows 1, yep, that's it. Humans outvalued again. Such a powerful deck. Incredible.